Antonio Screen here. I'm so ecstatic about this day and this opportunity. Have the amazing privilege to be able to sit down and have a conversation with someone that has just this incredible story of transformation from prison into purpose. And we're just gonna have the front row seat, if you will, into his life, into his journey, and we're just excited about it. So, hey,
What's up?
what's good?
What's good?
So my question, who is Travis Luke?
I'm gonna start with author. And the reason why I like to say author because they said if you want to hide it from a black man, put it in a book. So I decided to go write a book.
Yeah.
I'm a motivational speaker, credible messenger. I'm a tool to be used by God to redirect people that people say can't change.
Yeah.
I'm the example. If people always say if you could change, then anybody could change. So I'm the example. So I think that the fuel behind God fueling me to make the change that I made because I'm the example. I'm the one that they can look at and say, okay, well, he changed, I could change. So
That's what's up, man. That is what's up. So, seeing your journey, right, and understanding from the life you used to live, and then you went through this period of incarceration and then coming out. Talk to me about what was your mindset before you got incarcerated, because a lot of times people that have had a journey of incarceration, typically the world writes their story from that point. And they don't really never go before the incarceration and see who was this person, what was your mindset, what was life in the shoes of Travis Luke?
I'm gonna say that that's a complicated question. So I'm gonna break it down in two parts. So before prison, who was Travis Luke? Travis Luke was somebody that wanted to die. Because I wanted out of a lifestyle that I felt like I was trapped in. I didn't know how to get out. I had people around me dying. I'm being blamed for people dying, on the reason for this and the reason for that. So I just wanted to die. Like I didn't really care about living on top of losing my little brother. So losing my little brother, kind of what I learned later, what gave me survival remorse. Like we got shot at the same time during the same situation. And my little brother was the one that ended up dying, and I was the one that ended up living. So right before prison, that's who I was. But before all of that happened and I started, what I tell people is that people think that I was doing something spectacular when I was trying to save my little brother, but really I was just doing how I was raised, what lead to who I was before I got to that. I always had a good heart. Yeah, I was Travis Luke. I was that person that gang banged and sold drugs and all the other stuff, but I was also that person that was giving back to the community. I was also that person that made sure the kids in the community went to school, had shoes, had clothes, who had school supply. But don't nobody talk about that.
Right.
You know, it ain't exciting enough for people to talk about, so they'd rather talk about the fights and the shootings and the drugs and the reputation. So in a nutshell, man, I always been a person with a good heart. I always been a person that wanted to give back to my community. I always been a person that I never really been a violent person. I had violent incidents, but I always been that person that wanted to see everybody do good. Like I took care of everybody, at least tried to take care of everybody that was around me. You know what I mean?
Right. So tell me a little bit more about your actual mindset, the state of your mind, because you talked a lot about I felt that from a heart standpoint, but a lot of times we don't get the opportunity to see how the mind is processing. And so for you to do all the things that you've done, and listen, I'm telling you right now, we're not going to downplay the magnitude in which you've done what you've done, right? Before and after.
Right.
So the mindset, what kind of mentality, what kind of thought process was going in your head? Because a lot of times, like I stated, people will look at the external actions of something but don't know the engine, the mind that's going behind it.
So my mindset right before prison, and I'm laughing so hard because I don't think nobody, all the interviews I've done, nobody never asked that question. Like I tell the story, but nobody asked where my mind was at. I'm gonna say I was lost and I was confused, and I'm gonna tell you why. I had it was like, how people talk about the devil on one side, the angel on the other.
Right.
So I had the devil on one side of my ear saying, get something for your brother getting killed. I had the devil on one side of me saying, hey man, you can't let these people play with you. Like you need to get something for that. You know what I mean? And I got people in my ear also saying, bro, you just gonna let that go. You could press a button and make this and make that and make this happen. So I had the devil on one side of my shoulder telling me, hey, man, you need to do this. You need to get something back for that. So I ended up getting into certain incidents in between them before I went to prison because I had the devil on one side of my ear and one ear telling me to get something for it. So my mindset was get revenge. But then I had an angel on the other side of myself saying they're bigger than you and your brother. Because if you press that button, not only you gonna hurt the people family that you went to, which the people that you sending or the people that go with you, you hurting and putting their family. So I was in a tug of war. I was in a tug of war between the whole time after cause my brother, not long after my brother got killed, I got sent to federal prison. So the whole time in that between time, I was still trying to function, still trying to sell the drugs, and still trying to make sure my mama bill was paid, my grandmama was straight, everybody was good, kid fed. But I also was dealing with revenge or letting God deal with it. So in the end, I could honestly say that I was able to allow God to deal with it. And I'm gonna jump a little ahead of something after the prison, but this is how I knew that I made the right decision as far as not pressing that button and put everybody into a bad situation because I'm going through the mental war of revenge. Because not too long ago I got a phone call that somebody was in the same unit with the dude that killed my brother.
Wow.
And without even think about it though. Now this the catch. Without even think about it, I ain't even had to think about it. Right off the back, you know what I was able to tell him? Hey bro, I don't want you to do now. I want you to come home. I said, bro, what if I send you to do something? He kill you. And I already all this killing going on in Georgia prison, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or what if you do kill him and then they find out you kill him and then you get stuck in there and you ain't got but a couple years left. But I didn't have to think about that. You know what I mean? So that's the process of what I've been through from down to here. It wasn't that, bro, let me think about it. Let me see if I want you to do that. It will automatically no.
About it, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that confusion, that mentality that I was going through in the minute, I feel like I made the right decision because you really never get revenge for death. We would just been keep fighting and killing, and my brother still have been dead.
Right.
So prior to prison, what I was going through the most was, my mindset was like, do I care about what the streets say because I didn't get revenge? Or do I care about doing the right thing because me and my brother chose to be in that lifestyle? Like nobody forced us in that lifestyle. So that was my mindset, was revenge up until that point. And that revenge, trying to decipher between right and wrong had me want to die. Like I really, like anybody tell you that was around me, like I was running in front of guns, like I was just doing a whole bunch of renegade stuff, and people thought, oh, well, he just a gangster. Now in reality, bro, I wasn't in my right mind. Like I really was. You would think I was in my right mind because I was still able to sell the drugs and still able to run the hood or whatever the case may be. But that was on automatic. It was kind of like it was a cycle. I had done it so long I could do it with my eyes closed. You know what I mean? Yeah. But in reality, I was really struggling with worry about how people felt, that I didn't get no revenge from my brother. And I was also worried about putting people in a bad position trying to get revenge from my brother.
Yeah.
So I went through a lot of that up into that because I went to federal prison 4-5 months after my brother got killed.
Okay. So let's go into the prison cell. Let's go into the prison journey. Let's go into the prison experience, right?
Yeah, right.
Because for those that have never been in prison,
right.
Of course, we don't know what that prison experience is like. But however, I want to deal with understanding you going in there with a certain mindset, a certain heart, a certain experience, a certain everything, right? And now you in there. Was there a moment? Was there a situation? Was there something that was defining for you that you can pinpoint and say, this is my turnaround moment?
And get what? That happened early in my prison bed, but it didn't really settle in to me years later. Like early in my prison bed, my mama, I remember calling home, and my mama, so I slept in Gamma B. I was in FCI Talladega, and we had some, but I could say it knock you out of prison. My dog Swag, he actually got a record label right now called 10 for 1, but he slept in Gamma A. And he was the store man. He, you know what I mean? He had motion on the yard. You know what I mean? Like he was the man on the yard for the Georgia car. Cause that's how the federal system go. You basically go with your car, your gang, or your city, or whatever the case may be. So I end up going over there. Hey man, your homeboy from Georgia we had a little watch phone. We didn't even have the flip phone or none of that. We just had. He had a little watch phone. Had a long battery pack on. You take all these batteries and stack it up in there and wrap them up. You make your wires and that's how you charge your battery or whatever. So I went over there and used this phone. But I remember talking to my mom on the phone, and she was crying. She's like, "I'm having a hard time, can't pay these bills, going through this, going through that." Now, I couldn't send nobody to go get the money that I still had left because I knew the Fed was still watching my people, you know what I mean? Because when they first came, they surrounded my whole neighborhood, like 7 blocks, blocked it off, had agents on every street. went to every house, auntie house, everybody house over there that they knew I had a connection to. They went to the house, looked for the money. So I couldn't. I really back was against the wall, and in that situation, so I ended up telling her like, and I did. You know what I mean? I had some work for me to come through. Me and Swag had put a play together. We had a dude that was from Georgia that had one leg. So he would put the drawers in the leg and put the leg on and bring the drawer back on the yard. They already had the play going, but I had the means to get the work in. But I had the means to get the work. So I had somebody, my partner in Florida, he would get in the back then we were doing the K2. So I was like, I can get the K2 brought in or whatever. I can get the K2 to wherever we need to get to, you get it in. So I'm telling my mama like, hey, I got some work coming in. Don't worry about it, you know what I mean? I'm gonna make sure everything good, you know what I mean? You're gonna be able to, as soon as I get it in, she instantly start crying. Instantly. Okay, all right. She know, like, I've been taking care of my mama since I was 12, 13 years old. So she already know if I tell her something, she can stand on it, let something go wrong. But I remember going back to my bunk, right? I slept on the top bunk. I was in there with my buddy from Tallahassee. And it's crazy, man, he was in the same cell because he was from Florida. But we ended up being in the same cell, and that was my dog, man. And I remember, man, he was standing in front of in the mirror, brushing his hair. That's what they do, you know what I mean? We locked in the cell, you just sit there and just brush your hair. But I remember laying up on the top bunk, man, and I looked down at him. I said, bro, I'm doing the same thing in prison they got me put in prison. And I just kept saying, like, I'm doing the same thing in prison. Not taking care of my mama, but the fact that I come straight in the system, gang banging. I ain't got no gun, but I ain't never been a knife. I ain't never been a knife person. I was more the lock on the belt person. I don't want the knife. I was never that up close and personal. I'm gonna keep it on it. Everybody talk about the knife. I want a knife person. Give me the lock with the belt on. I don't want you to get a chance to stab me. I want to keep you up off me with this lock. So I end up, I had to lock them, gang banging, them selling drugs. You know what I mean? I'm just not getting in. I'm probably in prison at the time. I went from it because you had to do your kind of jail time, but I probably had been gone 2 years. But I said, man, that's just stupid. For me to be doing what put me in prison was just stupid. I don't care who needed it. Like, I don't care if my mama needed somebody. I don't care if my kids did need shoes and clothes. Like, it's stupid for me. This I'm telling myself. And I'm telling brothers, and he should be home now. But he just looked up at my bunk like, bro, that is stupid. Like, why are we doing the same thing in prison? They got to put in prison. That don't make sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was my wake up call. Like, you know what I mean? And then probably about a year later, my grandmama died. And anybody that know me, that knew anything about me, that was the only person I ever feared. Like, I never wanted to let her down. Never. She was one person that I could be mid fighting, shooting, whatever, and I'm instantly stopping when she coming. So when she passed, and me being who I was in the streets as far as the gang stuff, you know, on the level that I was on, I remember like having to help bury her from jail, and none of them people came around. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, I remember, like, you know what I mean? And the crazy thing about it is, my buddy, that one of the people that did bring some money around, he just shot somebody on the south side a couple days ago. You know what I mean? Well, they allegedly shot somebody on the south side. They pulled a gun on him. But I remember saying, man, I ain't there for somebody that took care of me my whole life. Like, I always lived with my grandma. My grandma always been my dog. Like, we always, whatever I'm with, she with. So when she passed and I went there to send her home, like I should have been able to send her home, that was a turning point for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, like, people are gonna tell you, oh, this one incident what happened and I changed. No, for me, it was several incidents.
It's a series.
You know, it was a series of incidents. But what really
start with a thought.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Some more stuff just keep.
Yeah, because I'm woke now. You know what I mean.
Everything that's happening now is going back to confirm. I'm stupid.
Yeah, I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
But that's what it started with, a wake up call that I'm stupid. Now all these other things, like, man, I'm just looking at all of the consequences to being stupid.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. Then at the end, there was the draw though. There was the final draw. Then when I knew, man, I said, man, by any means necessary, man, I don't care if I got to go out here and wash dishes or whatever, man. I can't leave my kids no more. And I'm gonna tell you why. My own daughter, man, my daughter Maya, the one I told you I was gonna talk to you about sending her to general contractor school. She was in, I want to say Maya was 9, 10 years old. And anybody know, out of all my kids, Maya is the most attached to me. Like, thank God he sent her as a boy, because she would have been another version of me out here.
Right.
But she, I remember calling home one day and she was just like, Dad, I had to write a letter. They asked me to write a letter about somebody today in school. Her mama snatched the phone. She said, you don't want to hear that. What you mean? Well, my baby love me to death. What you mean I don't want to hear that? Like, where could she possibly been no saying?
Right,
You know
I
what I
wanna
mean?
hear everything
I
about
just brought her
this
some
thing.
shoes. It don't been prayers. You know what I
Right.
mean? What she gonna say? Her mama said, all right. You want to hear it? I said, yeah, baby, I'm back on the phone. I hear paper rustling in the background, baby, get the phone. So she said, Dad, you want me to read it for real? So I said, yeah, go on read it, baby. And she said, from the outside looking in, you would think I was a pretty little girl with everything going right for me. She said, but on the inside, you would think I was a little girl that was crazy. You would know that I was a little girl that missed her daddy so much I wanted to kill myself. The letter go on and she said, my daddy broke my heart when I was in the 2nd grade and when I got sent to federal prison. She said, my daddy broke my heart before anybody could ever break my heart, before any man could ever break my heart.
Jesus, boy, that just took me out.
That's me.
Boy, that's enough.
That's me
enough to
paraphrasing
change
the letter, bro. And like real talk, I got some people I can call right now that'll tell you, bro, I got off the phone. I went to the rec yard. Boy, and I walked that track and I cried like a baby, dog. To the point where like I'm out there crying so hard and my dog come out there and like give me a hug, like, hey man, like bro, it's gonna be all right. Well, who died? And I'm like, boy, my baby just said, did right here. You know what I mean? And he just like, man, boy, hey man, I don't never hear that. He say, he like, bro, my baby feel that way. I don't never want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like,
boy, that hurt.
Man, that hurt me, bro. And it hurt me because like I wasn't never no deadbeat when it came to my kids. You know what I mean? I ran the street, did all that, but anybody that know me, I took care of my kids and everybody else's kids. You know what I mean? So to hear her say this, it was to breaking my heart. But then we started having more conversation, and she telling me other stuff that I won't speak on. You know what I mean? That she felt the way about stuff, and it just like. And she knowing if her daddy with her, like that wouldn't even been an option. Like you know what I mean? So it went nothing important enough for me to ever leave her again once I was able to make it home for her. Like that was my turning point. It was my, going through the situation, realizing, hey man, it's stupid. You doing the same thing in prison, got you put in prison. Getting out, and my grandmama passing, and we struggling to bear her. You know what I mean? Like they travel with grandmama. You know what I mean? We have a money over here. You know what I mean? Like we ain't think about all that. Then my baby telling me that and breaking that down to me, and it's just like, yeah, man, like ain't nothing, I don't care what nobody say about me. Call me what you want to call me, soft, scared.
Yeah.
Call me what you want to call me.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But,
Yeah, for sure.
And I right then I started letting people bait me into negativity. You know what I mean? Like I think I might have slipped one time, and I think any man on any level would have slipped at this. And that when I was head, I probably was like 2 months out. And I was going through the chow hall. I didn't even eat the chow hall food for real, but one of my people wanted the food. So I was like, bro, I go get the food for you. So I go through the chow hall line to get the food for my dog. And the dude behind the chow hall line threw my food up on the on the thing, and I blanked out, jumped across, slapped him, and yeah, did all. But
that was just a little anger that was left because of because of what you heard from your daughter already. I just needed a moment to just let it out on somebody. What? You just got it today, bro.
But you know what's so crazy? I had them start doing so good in prison to the counselor was like, look what happened. I'm like, cause they knew like you know what I mean, like who I was. So they like, what made you do that? Cause you ain't been into nothing, we ain't heard nothing or nothing. And I broke it down to them, bro, and they spared me, bro. That would never go, cause they really could have snapped a year and a half, 2, you know what I mean? The little good time I did have left. But they spared me, man, let me came on home. And now I see why God put it in their heart to spare me for me to come home. Cause what I do now. You know what I mean? Like we couldn't put that on hold behind nobody throwing my food in.
Right. Oh man. So let me ask you this, because one of the things that I've discovered that in order for anybody to have real transformation, there has to be accountability. And you cannot have accountability unless there is responsibility, meaning you really take the responsibility for what you have done. And so how was that like for you to have to take the responsibility for what you've done while still being in prison. Because everybody push it off to later. Oh, when I get out, when I get out, when I get out. And it's just my perspective. You can tell me how you feel about it, but typically those people are the ones that don't do what they say they're going to do.
That's true.
Because they're waiting for when they get out.
That's
when
true.
you still have not been transformed before you got out. So you just go right back to the same environment, the same thing, and it's just a repeat. You pick up where you left off at.
Yeah, pick up where you left off at.
Right? And so if you're in there and you're having a real transformation, how do you take responsibility for what you did
you in there?
while you're still in there?
So, and once again, that's another 2-part question. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I've done state time and I've done fed time.
Okay.
See, with state prison, it's really no rehabilitation. Not in Georgia. You know what I mean? That I was able to see. You just in there and you know, do what you gotta do to make it out. You know what I mean? So I feel for those people that's in state prison because it's no real rehabilitation. It's no classes. It's no, you know what I mean? Like, I think they may be trying to incorporate some stuff now. But when I was in state, it was just, we was in there. So I'll be honest. I sat right in there. My partner G, he got 20 years in the Fed. And I was in there, and I told G, like, I was in there trying to figure out how to sell more drugs. Like, I remember telling G, man, hey, man, gonna take the Fed to come get me this time. Because I ain't have anybody around me to teach me or enlighten me on nothing else. Only thing I can think about is, because I got to get me some money when I get home. Only thing I can think about is, and I'm focused on surviving. So I think about how I could be a better drug dealer when I come home this time. So with the feds, with how I was able to take responsibility, first of all, I started self-educating. When I tell you, I was at Coleman FCI at the time. At that time, I was still, you know, kind of influential with the gangs, with the gang life, with the Bloods, whatever. So I used to have the Bloods to go sign up for classes for me, because you couldn't take but 2 classes per quarter.
Okay.
And that just wasn't enough for me, because I hadn't got hungry. I wanted to learn. I wanted to get as much as I can get. So when I get out of prison, I can have a plethora of things I could choose from to do to survive, so I won't go back to prison. So I'm already reading books and stuff, but I started taking these classes. So I would send them and I'm like, bro, y'all can get the certificate. I don't even care about the certificate. You know what I mean? Y'all don't want to take no class. All right, cool. You go get the class for me. I'm gonna take the classes. You get the certificate. So I started doing everything you could think of, every type of class that they had at Coleman, I started taking them. But I got the Edgefield, South Carolina, and they got this program out there called RDAP. Everybody hate RDAP. Like, it's a strict program. That's probably one of the strictest programs I done seen in a long time. So I ended up taking RDAP, and I ended up learning the information so good that I became a teacher. So now while I'm in prison, I'm teaching behavior. It's a regional drug addiction program, but it's more surrounded by behavior modification. You know what I mean? You got your 8 positive attitude. You got your RSAs. You got your SMART goals. You got all that stuff. So I end up starting teaching it, and this kind of what let me know I could do what I do now. I started teaching that class, right? So now everybody looking at me. If somebody get into it in the unit, they come holler at me. They not because I'm running the unit, but because I'm the person on the unit that teaching the classes. I'm the person on the unit that making the transition in prison from being who they heard I was to being the person that I want to be to help people and redirect people and use my life and my story and my knowledge to keep people on the right path. So I started teaching RDAP, and I hadn't got so good at RDAP in Edgefield that the DTSs, the drug treatment specialists, will come call for me to come explain something, because they ain't gonna say they can't, but they weren't able to explain it to my fellow inmates the way I could. So I was like, man, I might be kind of good at this. You know what I mean? Like, these people been doing it 20. Mr. Holly, that's my dog, man. He ended up looking out for me. Mr. Holly out in Edgefield been doing it 25, 30 years all over the system. But he would call me and hey, Luke, man, hey, break that down for me. But when I realized that people from different walks of life, race, economics, ethnicities, religion, beliefs, if I can get all these people in one room and give one message and everybody get something from it, I knew that I had to have some type of gift. It had to be something bigger than me being a motivational speaker to the gangs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So being able to be in there and teach those classes and lead by example and, you know, use my story to help teach these classes was me taking responsibility, because I could easily say, I ain't even get a year off on the drug program. I didn't even get a year off. They forced me into the drug program.
Wow.
They forced me, and I end up trying to, okay, man, whatever, man. I go through the program. I'm close to home. I go through the program. I do the program, and then like, oh no, we ain't let you move out the unit. Like you finna stay on the unit. I had an office. I got some pictures of it, man. I had an office. I had in the library. I had my own office. I had my own typewriter. I had my own everything while I was in RDOT. You know what I mean? They want to make sure I was comfortable while I was in there because I taught the classes respectfully better than the DCS that was there.
Wow.
See, that was me taking responsibility because I could have easily said, man, send me back to my unit where I can go get on my cell phone. I can go hang out. I can smoke me some weed. I can go do whatever, work out all day. I ain't got nobody. I ain't got to be. I used to have to teach class like I had a job. They paid me though. I got paid a good bit of money for real being in prison, but I really had a job in prison teaching behavior modification courses.
Wow.
And I took it serious too now. Yeah, anybody that took my class tell you that I took it serious.
That's deep, man. You know, that's a different way to look at responsibility because most time people just stop at the acknowledgement of it. Just oh yeah, I own what I did.
No.
But then what
I did that when I took that plea for 144 months.
Yeah, I owned it right then. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. I did that. Yeah, I did it. Come on, see me in prison.
So now it's the next level of responsibility that says I'm actually going to make a contribution.
Right.
To start fixing what I contributed to damage.
Yeah, a contribution I didn't have to make.
Right, that you didn't have to make.
Yeah, I didn't have to make.
So that's the responsibility piece.
Right.
Let me ask you this, because another thing that I've observed in people's transformation life, even in myself, is the impact that guilt have. Because after you finally get to the place where you acknowledge it, you apologize, you want to make things right, it's like that guilt or sometimes hit you, boy, like a ton of bricks, and it just sit on you and it make you feel like you don't deserve a better life. So it's not just about you want it, but then you got to get past that mountain of I don't even deserve a better life, right? And so my question to you would be, did you have that type of moment where you felt like, man, you started, you in there now, you just got enough time to reflect on all of the damage you've done, all of the people's lives you may have affected, all the families, all of the things that came with your actions. Then when guilt showed up, how did you handle getting over that and being able to see yourself deserving of a great future again?
That's a deep one. Make me take my coat off for this one. That's a deep one. And I'm going to tell you why. That's a deep one. It's a deep one because of the way I was living, that guilt don't get released off of me because it's ongoing. See, the thing with the gang banging, people don't start dying from your actions. Like, if people still got beef from things that happened to me and my brother or happened, that I might have did or whatever the case may be from 20 years ago. So it's like that guilt never leave because it's like it's still people close to me, still people I love that dying. It's still you got to think about the gang life now. It's some of them people that they got in the game because I made the game like look good. I had the cars, I had the money, I had the women, I had the love, I had the respect. You know what I mean? Like everybody knew me, I had the popularity. So if people that follow my footsteps to get in that game like that might not make it out. You know what I mean? Like it's some of my people right now that I raised, like Jay pulled up on me recently, talking to me, woo, telling him what I got going. He like, hey, big homie, I love you. You know what I mean? And he one of the one around here that if I got my eyes on him, my hands on him, I can keep him calm. But once he gone, he portraying what he seen in me. And he literally, real talk, like he literally don't had me around some of his people like, hey, he don't change, but this the real big homie right here. Hey, boy, like, they who I am now. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, bro, like that ain't it. You know what I mean? Like, be who I am now. You know what I mean? Like, don't glorify who I was then, bro. Like, so my guilt never changed because I've learned to cope with it, but my guilt never really changed because it's still, you know what I mean? It's still ongoing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But just making that transition was super hard for me. And it still is now because still people still don't believe that I really made that transition. And it's because I still, when I see them type of people, I'm still gonna embrace them, still gonna give them a hug, still tell them I love them. You know what I mean? So it's like going through all those different things is like the guilt never leave up off of me, but it's also the fire. You know what I mean? Like I might not be able to save or might not be able to show everybody might not believe my way or what I'm doing, you know what I mean, my transition. But for the most part, a lot of them do, you know what I mean? A lot of them do to the point where they'll pull up and they gonna portray to me like they still, still tough or they tough or whatever because of who I was, but a lot of them pull up and like, hey man, we don't want you in nothing, bro. Ain't anybody breathe on you hard, you just tell me. And I'm like, hey, I'm telling police, I ain't telling you. Hey, no, you know what I mean? I ain't living
put
like
you
that.
in that cycle.
Yeah, I ain't living like that no more, you know what I mean?
That's
So it's like that transition to be able to withstand that guilt, it get hard on me every day. Like I don't because of the gang life. You know what I mean? I just recently my same little brother, man, they got killed in prison, Reddy. I went over to his birthday. He had a home, he passed, so they had a little birthday party for him, you know what I mean? And I went by, show his mama some love. I love her to death. She still called me. She called me out whenever she needs me on doubt, you know what I mean? But I remember seeing up there and seeing all these, all of them up there, they got the guns, you know what I mean? And like they can tell I'm uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like this ain't what I be around no more. You know what I mean? But one of them, he high rank now, but he my little brother. He way bigger than me, but he my little one. He was like, hey, how you feel being responsible for all of this? And I'm like, all of what? He like, all of this. And I said, I hate it, bro. Man, what you mean? I hate it, bro. Look what we looking at, bro. They standing around smoking, drinking with guns on them. Why? Everybody got a big gun on. Ain't nobody got a regular gun.
like they trying to take out an army right here.
Man, I got out of there so fast, man. I love y'all. Y'all boy be safe, man. I'm going home. You know what I mean? I'm going, man, we going out tonight. Hey, man, y'all be safe. You know what I mean? But I'm going home, man. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this. So as I've watched people transform, and again, a lot of things that I've talked about in life, I have my own walk, my own experience. But I hear people all the time talk about, man, I'm going to change, and they never really do. And one of the things that I've discovered for a lot of people that say they're going to change and they don't change is they're trying to do it on their own. And then I have to just pause sometimes and ask them, hey, how that's working for you? Like at the end of the day, if you could do it on your own, you would already had it done.
It'd be done.
Right? So my question to you, you talk about transformation, you talk about all of these amazing things that's happened. How influential was Christ in your transformation? Because everybody have whatever they want to say work for them, but I'm just asking to you, like, where was his role in your transformation?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't get dead without God at all. I'm talking about without a doubt. But I can tell you from the beginning to where I'm at now, he's always had his hands in the mix. But with me, what he did for me was show me that at the end, you ain't gonna be able to impress everybody. Some people gonna hate you, some people gonna love you, some people gonna talk about you in a good way, some people gonna talk about you in a bad way. But you have to walk in a righteous way.
Right.
Above all, you have to walk in a righteous way. So a lot of people especially in where I come from, a lot of people be scared to change. They be cowards. So what God did, God gave me the courage. But he gave me my courage long before I knew I wanted to make the transition. I always been that person that be different.
That's good.
Like I always been a different person. Like when I was first started with the blood, they used to laugh at me. Blood? Man, that's in California, man. Nobody over here no blood, man. What? You want to be a blood? Yes. Man, these folks fit to tell you up around here, man. You ain't a tour, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, so I always been that person that always had the heart to do what I always had the heart to do something different. You know what I mean? So what God did for me was, man, gave me courage. Then when I look at Jesus, man, I look at how Jesus moved. Like one of my favorite quotes is, Jesus gave us the recipe. We start adding our own ingredients.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that Jesus was in the trenches. Like he was out here with people like me telling, you know what I mean, changing my life, showing me the right way to go. So me knowing that that was the whole synopsis around Jesus is that he was out here with the people who they said couldn't change.
Right.
He was out here with the people they talked about was, you know, the worst people, worst of the worst. Right. So it's like, all right, so if he could walk a righteous path and still be out there with them, why I can't?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
Why can't I? Why can't I? Why do I got to put I got to put on a suit and I need to go, you know, tap dance. Jesus ain't did none of that.
Right.
Jesus was Jesus, and I'm here to try to show y'all a better way, man. Either y'all want it or you don't.
Right.
So that's how I carry myself. That's why when they were asking me to run for commissioner, it was like, man, that'll be something good because it'll get the kids that grew up in my neighborhood and my homeboys and the people that still looking at me like, man, if he can go from here to a commissioner, that good. But I thought about it. No. Now I'm finna start adding my own ingredients. Mm-hmm. Because that ain't where, if God wanted me to be he wanted me to be a commissioner, then he would have let me be, I'd have been brought up another way. You know what I mean? I wasn't brought up that way. I was brought up and molded to be able to stand in the trenches. I can go to any neighborhood in the world and I can stand in the middle of the trenches. Because they could look at me and see it's on me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't got to, oh man, I used to do this, I was this person. No, they go, oh yeah, I don't been through something right now. But like, yeah, man, well, what's up, bro? You know what I mean? Yeah, bro, what's up, man, bro, mate? So God forced me that way because now I can go into those situations and I can tell you what's right.
Right.
And I do it proudly. Like I don't shun it. Like if I'm around somebody, I'm around the homie or whatever, and they out there kicking, they talking, hey boy, you wrong, homie. Mm-hmm. Like, and you ain't telling me wrong, you wrong. So you telling him that it's okay to shoot in his house while these people sleep.
Right.
You a coward and you a coward. When we start doing that, you know what I mean? I could beat out or do that and they ain't gonna look at me crazy or they ain't gonna feel no way or have no beef with me. They gonna know like, hey man, bro, I ain't telling nothing wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if I go be a commissioner, when I'm gonna have time to do that?
Yeah, I love it because, you know, a lot of times people consider what their image of Christ look like.
Right.
And so we miss all of the Christ moments.
Yeah.
That's walking around in a Travis.
Man, come on, man.
And so I love to see people that don't mind really being transparent enough to say, hey, this transformation is Christ.
Yeah.
It's because of Christ, but it is Christ. But I need y'all to understand that when you're seeing me, you're seeing him.
Yeah,
because that's the only way people are going to be able to get him. Trying to sell him in the image that the world and America done painted him on these pictures that they put on the walls.
That ain't gonna work.
That ain't it.
No,
you ain't gonna get nobody to give up that kind of lifestyle looking up at that picture.
No.
But I can look at you and be like, yeah, if he can do it, I can do it. I see change right there. And so that's the real ministry, if you will. That's the real message. It's the life of the transformation that preach much louder than anything else that you can do. Let me ask you this. As you came out, and now you got to get back to the real thing, right? Mm-hmm. So now it's the re-entry back into the society, back into the same neighborhoods, the same community, because you could have, right, if you wanted to, went to a whole nother state somewhere. Man. Let me start over. I don't want no temptation from my past. I don't want to be reminded of none of my homies. I don't want none of that. But I think it speaks to the depth of the value of your transformation for you to come right back to the same place that you were the old you at. And now you got to deal with this reality of, are you really changed? So my question to you is, in the re-entry, what was the hardest part for you? Name one thing that was the hardest part for you, and then how did you push through it?
The hardest part of me with re-entry. I'm gonna say the harder part of me with re-entry is people not believing my intentions. That was the hard, because I don't have to do this. I could have just went and got a meal cone or something. Like I just remember I told you while I was in prison, I studied everything from stock market, real estate to selling cars to whatever you could think of, whatever construction. I'm NCCR certified. Like I'm certified from everything from regular builder to steel builder. You know what I mean? The basics to the end. So like I could have just went somewhere and just got me a job doing. You know, I didn't have to come back here to try to do this. Like I'm not asking for money. You know what I mean? Like I don't go rent nobody down. I just do the work. So it was like my intentions was like, oh, is he? I just recently had a judge. I'm talking for some kids. I recently just had a judge look me dead in my face and say, how we know you ain't recruiting them? What? Why do I come here to recruit them? Like, why?
Right, that's
that don't
crazy.
even make sense. Like, if I'm a recruit, it's hundreds of thousands on my head. That's what I was doing. But I understood what and I respect that she asked me that face to face. You know what I mean? Because that's what people asking behind the scenes. Like, is he still involved in the games? Is he still selling the drugs? Is he still making shot calls or whatever the case may be? Then on the other side, I got the streets. They think I'm scared. They think I'm soft. They think whatever they think. They think I'm working with the police. I got to deal with that. Some of them mad. They feel like I let the hood down and I should have stayed, try to save the hood. So it was like being stuck in that middle, man. It was just like crazy. But we go back to the first question asked about walking with Jesus. When I know for a fact I'm doing what God got me doing. This ain't what I want to do.
Yeah.
This ain't what I want to do. This had nothing to do with my story.
Yeah.
Nothing. Ain't nothing I wrote down and said, oh, I'm going to get out and go do nothing. Nothing. Only thing I knew was I was going to do speaking engagements. And, I didn't think that I was going to go deep into the reentry. I didn't think I was going to go deep into gang intervention prevention. I didn't think I was going to be able to stand up and tell the press, well, hey, man, being in the gang crazy, homie. I ain't never think I could be that. Wow. For multiple reasons, you know what I mean? But I ain't never think that I could do that. So I know it for a fact what I'm doing is what God got me doing. Mm-hmm. So for me, just that statement alone, I know for a fact that I'm doing it because God got me doing it. It was able to let me stand in the fire. It like, whatever. Okay, the police is over here. They believe I'm still calling shots. The streets over here think I'm working with the police. All right, whatever. Y'all think whatever after I got God on my side. Now, whatever. Yeah. Y'all waste y'all time trying to figure that out.
Right.
I ain't scared. I ain't worried about y'all doing that to me. I ain't worried about the police locking me up. Whatever. I got God on my side. Y'all come on with it.
Absolutely. So it's interesting because as you're talking and I'm seeing the picture the way I'm seeing it, the people are using your past to work against what you can be doing to help people. But now my question to you is, how are you using your past to help other people that's in the lifestyle you used to be in not have that past to be a part of their future?
The same way everybody else should be using as a tool. Same way. So it's like, if you ain't been through this, then how you gonna tell me this?
Right.
So I know for a fact, I don't even like to really even tell them like, okay, well, I was, high ranked gang member. I don't even like to tell them this. So I tell them sometimes, AJ, go Google me. You go Google me. So then once they come Google me, they be like, okay, well, you did say this good stuff. You said this good stuff. You said this good stuff. So they know I mean them well because of who I was and where I came from. Instead of people using my past against me, they should be using my past against the violence, the gang problem, and the things that going on in the community. Use my past against that, not me. Because that's what I do. I use my past against the gang violence. You know what I mean? If I can stand in front of a kid and say, man, my brother died for me being in the gang. He followed me in the street. He wanted to be like me. Hey, bro, I lost my fingers. Hey, my mama house used to get shot up. My homeboy still dying. I got homeboy. I just had a partner, man, just hit me from prison. He been gone 23 years, and they just denied their parole, bro.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like I could tell them, I could show them these messages. I can call to the prison, and you know what I mean? People gonna shine on it like, oh, why you shouldn't be, no, whatever, I'm gonna do that my way. I can call to the prison on the people on the cell phone and be like, bro, hey, boy, how much time you got? You know what I mean? Hey, boy, how you living in there? What's going on there? Because on social media, they see these people on the phones, eating pizza. No, yeah, when that's over, it's a possibility he could die today. So that part of my past allowed me to call to the state prison, the people that got life sentences from Crips to Muslims to GD to Blood. I can call, hey man, this what's going on. So I use my past as a weapon against these, what we call in prison, stinking thinking. That these kids and these other people coming home from prison or gang members want to have, like I can use my past against that, not against me. They use my past against me. Oh, he was this, he was this. They forget the word was.
Right.
They forget that part. They don't see, they don't took was and put it where is at. So I use my past the way they should use. They should be using my past against the violence. They should be using my past against poverty, all these other things that plague our communities, and not against me. But they just, most of them for the most part, and I respect it. It used to stress me out. I used to be like, I'm just gonna stop doing it because I don't have to do it.
Right.
But then I'll have to go back to remember what you just said. Everybody got their own relationship with God. God don't play with me, man.
Yeah.
I can't take too many more of them punishment, dog. I ain't for real, bro. Like I done been shot up, been in and out of jail, like losing. Might have $100,000 a day. Then tomorrow, be like, where the money went? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like how the money left me that fast. So it like I'ma do what God put on my heart to do, no matter what. Because when I go against God and His words and His demand, then the punishment is heavy. Like I don't get popped on the hand like God gonna beat me down. And I might do this and somebody I love, like it just get crazy on that end with me with God. So I'm gonna walk in that path regardless. It don't matter. It don't matter like so they use my past against me. All right, oh well. I'm gonna continue to use it to reach these kids. You know what I mean?
I love it, man. So as we conclude this conversation, man, I got so many things going through my head and my spirit. I'm so overwhelmed with joy. I'm so proud of you.
Man, I
Beyond
appreciate it,
anything
man. I
else,
appreciate it.
that sums
I
up
appreciate it, man.
my conglomerate of emotions.
Man, I appreciate it.
It's just proud of you, man. Like
appreciate it.
I think a lot of times people don't get the due credit and respect that they deserve for the amount of work that goes into real transformation. A lot of people sell the story of it, but can't walk the walk of it, can't live the life of it. And so to actually see you go from the extreme level that you were in to the extreme level that you're in now. And again, it's so many things that you do behind the scene that a lot of people don't even know that I have the privilege to be able to see firsthand. And I just be blown away with just, I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, man.
Seriously.
And when you put it like that and you think about it, man, like you say behind the scenes that people don't see, like the little kid I got that keep running away from home. He ran away from home again last night at 12 o'clock at night. And mama called me. So I'm trying to help her figure that out. You know what I mean? Like people don't know that because I don't post about it, I don't talk about it. You know what I mean? So it's just like you say, like it be a lot that get dead, man, behind the scene, and it's like sometimes I get where I don't feel appreciated, but then I remember I ain't doing it for nobody but God.
That's it.
I ain't doing it for nobody but God. Like
That's
it's
it.
all right, it's okay. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean? God put me in a little boy like to help him. You know what I mean?
That's it.
So
You've been faithfully coming to Alive City for a while now.
Yes,
and
sir.
if you pay attention to anything that I say all the time when I begin to pray, I have to remind myself, everyone, and including the devil, that I'll have one boss.
that's it.
And his name
Ain't
is
nothing like
Jesus.
that, nah.
That's it.
Boy, ain't that listen. What you just said, man, you know what? And you do say that a lot.
That's it.
And that probably I don't know, cause that my mindset. That's exactly what my mindset. And that mindset take words off the table.
It does.
It just take words
Ain't
off the
enough
table.
we got to talk about.
Oh well, I'm not tap dancing, I'm not begging, I'm not
Ain't
convincing.
doing none of it.
I'm just going to continue doing God's work, and the payoff will be great.
That's it.
That's it. I don't got to convince you.
I got to go to bed at night knowing that I pleased him, even
That's
if
right.
I don't please you.
And you better deal with not using me. You got nothing to do with me, God. I tried to give me to them. I went to their meeting. I told them, use me, let me help them, let me do this. They decided not to do it, God. Take that whooping over there.
That's right. I did my part.
Take that whipping over there. I'm
That's it.
cool.
I did my part.
I did
That's
my
all that
part.
matters. That's all that matters.
And I did. I'm gonna do it, man.
So I want you to take a moment as we conclude, and I want you to speak directly to the camera, to the person that's in prison, to the person that's doing things that's about to lead them to prison, to the person that got out of prison and trying to figure out how to be about that new life. If there was some words that you wanted to share with them, if there was something that you wanted to tell them that can help them from where they are to take on this new journey, I want you to talk to them directly and speak to them, whatever it is on your heart.
This not gonna be the most political answer. It's not gonna be the most religious answer. But once again, we just said I got one God, well, one boss of that God. So my advice to y'all, there's so many ways to make money, man. You don't have to be in the streets to make no money. 99% of us is finding our ways in these ways because we thinking that you only can make money doing wrong. You got to just educate yourself, man. Read, take time, be patient, slow down, take losses. Like a lot of times we keep ourselves in bad situations because we don't want to accept our loss, whether that's a relationship, a partnership, a gangship, whatever it is. We stay in these situations because we don't know how to accept losses. We want to continue to fight, thinking this is going to be the only way out. thinking it's gonna be the only way to survive, thinking it's gonna be the only way to get to the next level, when in reality is millions of ways to survive, millions of ways to get to the next level that not gonna cost you your life, not gonna cost you a piece of your sanity, not gonna cost you your freedom, not gonna cost you missing no sleep at night unless you up trying to figure out a way to enhance what God don't bless you with. Like, it's so many things you can get doing it the right way, dog. So, but a lot of times it be hard for us to do it the right way because we worry about what people think about us. We worry about who gonna go to the top with us. We worry about who gonna turn their back on us. We worry about how hard the journey is, as if the journey that you on right now is I ain't already hard enough. Like, we worry about all the things that don't matter when all you gotta do is submit to God and believe in yourself and push forward. That's it. Submit to God, believe in yourself, whatever it is. I don't care if you wake up tomorrow and say, man, I want to do lawn care. I want to be a pastor, a preacher, the president, no matter what it is that you wake up tomorrow and want to do. If you put your best foot forward and take some time and put some energy to it and believe God put you on that mission, you're going to do it. One of my main things when I tell people, and then we'll get, y'all, the more y'all get to learn me and get to be around me, I got tons of books, tons of movies, sitcom. I got clothes. This is my clothing line right here. Like, I got so much stuff that I developed in prison because I developed this in my head where I said, God give me an idea. He didn't give it to me for no reason, no matter how big it is, no matter how small it is. So whatever God put on my heart to do, I'm going to try it. I've been had this clothing line 3 years. I just ain't putting no energy behind it, but I got a storeroom full of these clothes because God told me, start a clothing line. So whatever God put on my heart to do, whether to go speak, whether this morning I was driving through the project, seen a little kid and a little girl out there smoking weed. I pulled over. I know y'all probably like, oh, you should have took the weed, called the police. Nah, I just pulled over and said, I used to do that too before I went to school. He didn't make me read, though. He didn't make me do better than math. You know what I mean? Like, I used to do the same thing. So with God put that on my heart to do that. So it's like, man, whatever God put on your heart to do, man, no matter how big or how small it is, do it. Stop discussing it with people because people tell you, hey, you can't do it. Hey, people gonna tell you it ain't gonna work. So in other words, man, once again, I'm gonna reiterate it. Whatever God put in your heart, no matter big or small, act on it, man. And you ain't got to do right to get to the top. I mean, you don't have to do wrong to get to the top. And more than likely, I don't know. I'm 41 years old. I ain't seen a lot of them make it out to the top and make it out doing wrong. And even if they did, their mental health is destroyed because they don't know, they can't hide the money in the bank. They don't know when they gonna come get it, or if somebody from the back in the day gonna tell on them or rob them. So just do the right thing, man. It's okay. I'm telling you, that's the best decision I ever made. We get on the right path. And then I started about the money because I wanted to speak to my people. You know what I mean? Because I know what we go through. That's why I started about the money. But it ain't what my transition I had nothing to do with the money. In the end, it got everything to do with peace. I ain't worried about going to jail. I ain't worried about getting killed. Like, life good. I can walk down the street. Right. Never been able to do that. Walk down the street? Man. No.
You said so many amazing things, and I'm gonna just hone in on you said you gotta be willing to lose.
Gotta be willing to lose.
Fantasia said it. Sometimes you gotta lose to win again. And then Christ did it.
Yeah.
He showed us that he was willing to lose. He literally was willing to die for his purpose of causing us to win again. And I don't think people see that oftentimes when it relates to Christ. It is him sacrificing his entire life just for the purpose of everybody else being able to have access to a winning life, to a life more abundantly.
And you want to know what's so funny about that? You know the question that I get from little kids all the way up to adults. It's a question that I always get, right? I get this question. Little kids gonna ask me the question when I talk to them about my life and tell them my transition. And I have elders that's gonna ask me about this question when I tell them about my life and my transition. They always ask me, you don't be scared nobody gonna do nothing to you. You don't be scared nobody gonna do nothing to you. Them people gonna kill you because you got out of the game. And I always tell them, if God protected me, this is one of my favorite lines. Outside of my line about Jesus giving us the recipe and us adding our own ingredients, outside of that line, this is one of my favorite lines. If God protected me when I was doing wrong, if I die doing right, ain't nobody been out shed now too. Y'all better have a ball. I'm talking about, man, y'all better have a ball, man. Y'all better have a ball if I die for doing right. God kept when I was doing wrong. All the wrong I was doing.
Yeah.
Man,
And he
please,
still
man.
kept
I
it.
ain't worried about doing no dying for
Y'all
doing
worry
right.
about me dying now?
But and I'm doing right. I got a chance to go to heaven now. Y'all should have been worried when I was trying to break in hell.
Hey, you were trying to break in there.
But I'm trying knocking on the door, man. Let
Take me
in.
through there.
Take me through there. That's what y'all should have been worried. Don't worry about me now that I'm doing right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go to. I feel like I got a great chance of getting in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
some
think I
good
got a
stuff,
great
man.
chance of getting in heaven now. Don't worry
That's
about me.
some good
Don't worry
stuff,
about it
man.
now.
That's some good stuff. Well, Luke, man, it's been a pleasure.
Man,
I'm
all
looking
the time.
forward to more conversation about your transformation and so
Yeah.
many things that are coming ahead and even just currently that's going on, man. And
Excited, man.
the future is bright.
excited.
And I hope that so many others that are watching this interview will be able to be inspired enough to say, if God did it for him, then surely he can do it for me. If he had the strength, the courage to come out of what he came out of, then surely it is possible. You are the epitome of what faith is. You're the epitome of what courage is. You're the epitome of what determination is. You're the epitome of what willpower is. When you make your mind up that you're able to do something and you're going to do it, you actually done it. So for every person, little or big, as you stated, that feels like they cannot do it, they can look to you and say, hey,
Look dead at me.
it's possible,
Hey.
and I'm going to get it done.
I'm gonna say this to add on what you just said. I just said I was an author, right? I think before I went to prison, the only thing I was reading was a stop sign and a street sign. I ain't want to read no book. I think all I was reading was a stop sign and a street sign. Then, like, we'll get into this on this interview, but you got to think about it. Now, I had just got shot. My fingers were stuck. I did therapy in prison. Like, the therapy that I used to book that I didn't want to go to when I first got shot, when I got in prison, I started getting a bowl, putting the rice in there, putting paper in there, and I reaching there, and that's how I got my fingers to loosen up. So that's how I started getting. I had to teach myself how to write again, and I taught myself how to get on the typewriter. So I taught myself all of that while writing these books that God was putting on my heart that were coming out so fast. I gotta know. Think about it. I don't show you. We gotta know books. I don't gotta write another book the rest of my life. You put out
You don't
3-4
wrote a
books a
lifetime.
year.
Yeah, you don't wrote a lifetime of books for sure. Oh my God. So hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not done it already, I need y'all to go and follow I am Travis Luke, right?
Yes, sir.
I am Travis Luke on all the
All
social media handles, and I want you to follow the story, follow the journey. It is an amazing journey to be a part of. And again, I'm proud of you, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Future's
You don't hear that a
bright.
lot.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't hear that a lot.
I am, man.
Yeah,
I
I
am.
appreciate
So,
it, man.
Appreciate your time, man.